In this lesson we're going to move on and have a look at the Aeolian Mode. Aeolian Mode, and it's pretty straightforward to remember how we can find an Aeolian Mode, because A for Aeolian is the clue, and so in its most basic form an Aeolian Mode is just the scale that runs from A to A on the piano keyboard. And so let's just have a quick listen to what that sounds like. Having just seen that scale, you might be thinking to yourself, well, actually, that looks unbelievably familiar to something that I already know, a scale that we've already looked at, in fact, and you'd be absolutely right, because the Aeolian Mode is just another way of talking about the natural minor scale. So the Aeolian Mode actually equals the natural minor scale. For me, the natural minor scale is a really useful scale for improvising music. I really like some of the melodic patterns, the melodies that you can make with this scale, and also some of the harmonies that you can make. So just to finish this video off, because it's a very simple video, because essentially it's just helping you to discover that you already know what an Aeolian Mode is. I'm just going to improvise a piece that makes use of some of these scales and harmonies and melodies. And I hope you'll feel confident that you could go ahead and start playing around with this mode to compose music of your own. Here's a bit of bonus information just in case you were wondering why I finished that piece on a chord of A major. Because obviously if I was composing in the Aeolian Mode, trying to use the Aeolian Mode as the basis for my music, you might think that the logical place to finish would be a chord of A minor, because this uses the notes of the Aeolian Mode. We don't have a C sharp in the Aeolian Mode, but sometimes we can use this little trick to make the end of our piece sound a bit more interesting. Here's the last phrase of that piece if I'd have just used the standard A minor tonic chord to complete the piece. Now that sounds absolutely fine, and finishing on an A minor chord there seems a perfectly logical thing to do. But I chose to do something a bit different, something a little more unexpected, and that was to introduce something called a Tierce de Picardie. See if I can spell it. It's a French word. T-I-E-R-C-E de Picardie. Picardie. And that is a very, very long term to describe what is essentially just changing one note in your final chord, changing your last chord in a minor piece from being a minor tonic chord, as you would expect in a minor key, to being a major chord based on the same tonic pitch. So going to the A major chord to finish a piece instead of the what would probably be expected, an A minor chord. I'm just going to play this last phrase 2 more times so that you can hear the difference between the phrase ending on the expected minor tonic chord, the A minor chord, and a different version that uses this Tierce de Picardie, this Picardie third it's called, where we move from an A minor triad to finish a piece to a chord based on the A major triad.